Have you ever heard a defensive coordinator like Jonathan Gannon in preseason, or it's not even preseason, training camp, before you even played a game, talking about how your defense has a stinger and you're going to play rough, even in shorts and shells, and you're going to make sure you're slapping balls out of guys' hands and deflecting passes and at least, making contact on a play? Have you ever heard a defensive coordinator talking about being rough and tough in shorts and shells?
No, but when you look around the league, doesn't every team teach that? Be rough and tough in practice, because what you do in practice, you will do in games.
Sure.
I mean, that's taught across the board. I mean, I understand he's excited about what he's doing, moving in a new direction. He's got to prove himself, just like the rest of their coaching staff, except for Jeff Stoutland, who's one of the better O-line coaches in the game. I get it. But I thought it was a little bit over the top. We were talking about how rough we're going to be in shells. This is like what, you're going to have what, wrestling matches in between whistles, or what? You're going to, guys taking extra shots just to get them mentally tougher. I mean,
whatever it takes.
Hey, look, you can be as tough as you want to be in practice. I'll see how tough you are when it counts the most on Sundays, especially when that regular season starts.
All right, so let's talk about that then, when it actually counts. Let's at least talk about this game action. Jalen Hurts will get snaps coming up on Thursday.
Right.
He has not had the best training camp to this point. How concerned are you when you see these reports, or you see him in practice not exactly being accurate, struggling a little bit here? Is this just a matter of wanting to see him in the game, or is this a matter of just saying, you know what, it's just training camp, it's just practice, let's get him into any type of game situation?
I think it's all of the above. First of all, you have a young quarterback who was tutored initially under a totally different offensive coaching mindset. Now he's learning a whole new offensive scheme. Routes could be a little bit different than what he's used to. Maybe still getting used to the terminology. He's getting used to new receivers. He didn't have a lot of game experience with the receivers he's going to play with. Now he has a new receiver he's going to eventually have to get on the same page with Devontae Smith down the road as well. So I think it's a matter of timing and execution. Now, coming out of the gate on Thursday, considering a lot of young players are going to play significant amounts of snaps, I expect to see some false starts. I expect to see mental mistakes across the board. Hopefully it's not an abundance of them, but it's going to happen because you're learning a whole new system with a whole new regime now. So it's going to take time. And that's what the OTAs and the mini camps and the preseason games are for, to work out these things, to get more cohesiveness, to get that timing down. And coordination down as well. So Jalen's he's going to struggle. He's got, because as you know, Mark, you look at some of the top flight quarterbacks that have played this game, when they have certain receivers they've played with for years, all they have to do is look at each other and they know what they're going to do. Right. Jalen has to get on that level with some of these young guys. I mean, it's a very young receiving core. You got a bunch of hungry guys that still have to prove themselves, at John Hightower. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, this could be it for him. He may not even make the team coming out of training camp. Quez Watkins didn't play a whole lot because of injuries last year. Now you have Devonta Smith. We don't know how much he's going to play because he's been nicked up, throughout training camp as well. So it's going to take some time for Jalen to get on the same page with these guys. You're going to have some miscues. You're going to have some misreads. You're going to have players probably running wrong routes for a while until they get it down and study the film and iron out these problems. So we just have to sit back and be a little bit more patient than normal with what's going to happen with this team.
Gotcha. Jordan Mailata, I know Andre Dillard has some injury issues again.
Right.
Jordan Mailata, the left tackle, I thought it was his job to lose going into camp. What do you make of it?
I don't think there was ever a so-called competition. I think it was Jordan Mailata's job to win or lose. Unfortunately for Andre Dillard, now he's hurt. He has a knee sprain, so he's on the shelf again. That guy can't stay out of the training room to save his life, man. I feel bad for him. A lot of people, I know, chastise him because they're calling him the second coming of Danny Watkins. But I feel bad for the guy that he can't compete. He's competing more to stay off the IR than he is competing for a starting job. But I think when you look at the natural progression Jordan Mailata has made every year that he's been with his team, and you think about it, it hasn't been that long ago when he had never played football before. And now you're talking about starting him at left tackle in the National Football League for an NFL franchise. That shows you his work ethic, his dedication, and how badly he wants it. And, of course, being coached up by one of the best offensive line coaches in the game speaks tremendous volumes in terms of what they've been able to do with this young man. So I think, you could say it was his job to win or lose. I think it was his job before training camp even started.
Last thing for you, Gunfather.
Yeah.
Last thing for you.
Okay.
Miles Sanders said something 2 weeks ago, and it has not left my brain. It's still there. It's rattling around. A lot of space up there, as you know.
Right.
And he said that the screen game is something that they've been focusing on.
Right.
He said the screen game is something they needed to clean up. It's going to be a lot of the same stuff, but just cleaner than what you saw under Doug Peterson.
Right.
Now, I jumped to the conclusion because of my excitement. Brian Westbrook screen game. That's what I look for. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for. I think Miles Sanders has been underutilized in this offense, even under Doug Peterson.
I agree.
All right. Am I crazy to be thinking that Nick Sirianni could be featuring Miles Sanders more than what we've seen in the past?
Well, first of all, you are crazy. Second of all, yeah, I think so because I've been told time and time again, Nick Sirianni wants to do two things. He wants to run the football, and he wants to feature the screen game. Well, you have a couple of backs in Miles Sanders and in Boston Scott who would be perfect for the screen game, whether it's middle screen, outside screen, whatever it is. So, yes, I would love to see Miles Sanders featured in that screen game because as we've seen, when he gets a seam, if he gets a ray of light, he can do a lot of damage. Not only is he quick, but he has a lot of moves, and he doesn't go down easy. He's capable of breaking tackles. We know Boston Scott can break tackles. And you've got those big road graders in front of you, especially on the right side. Man, if Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson can stay healthy, and of course, Jason Kelce pulling out there as well, you have 3 Pro Bowlers, paving the way for you in a screen game. Who else would you want to run the ball behind in a situation like that? So I think this is a great offensive scheme for Miles Sanders to really feature all of his assets, all of his attributes in this Nick Sirianni offense.
All right.